Enlightenment in Pure Land Buddhism, Nembutsu, and the aspiration for rebirth. Introduction. Among the many traditions of Buddhist practice that have evolved across Asia, Pure Land Buddhism, Jinkt Tu in Chinese, Jodo in Japanese, Tun Ji Teng in Vietnamese, stands out as both one of the most widely practiced and one of the most approachable for ordinary lay practitioners. Whereas many Buddhist schools emphasize rigorous meditation, philosophical study, or esoteric ritual, Pure Land Buddhism highlights faith, devotion, and the recitation of the Buddha's name, Nembutsu, Niam Phat, as a direct path to liberation. At its core lies the aspiration to be reborn in the Pure Land, Sukkhavatek, of Amitabha Buddha, where conditions are perfectly suited for attaining enlightenment. This essay will explore the concept of enlightenment within Pure Land Buddhism, examining its doctrinal foundations, the centrality of Nembutsu practice, the role of faith and aspiration, and the transformative meaning of rebirth in Amitabha as Pure Land. We will also consider how Pure Land teachings redefine enlightenment, not merely as an individual achievement, but as a communal and universal journey. By the end, we will see how Pure Land Buddhism offers a profound reinterpretation of Buddhist soteriology, making the path to awakening accessible to all beings, regardless of capacity, background, or spiritual aptitude. The doctrinal foundations of Pure Land thought, the emergence of Pure Land Sutras. The Pure Land tradition rests primarily on three foundational scriptures: the larger Sukkhvativihara Skra, the smaller Sukkhvativihara Skra, and the Amethya Dhyana Skra. Together, they describe the vows of Amitabha, Amitius, Buddha, the nature of his Pure Land, and the practices by which beings can attain rebirth there. The larger Sukkhvativihara recounts the story of the Bodhisattva Dharmakara, who, through countless eons of practice, generated 48 great vows to establish a Buddha land of unsurpassed purity. The 18th vow, often called the primal vow, promises that any being who sincerely calls upon Amitabha's name with faith and aspiration will be guaranteed rebirth in the Pure Land. This vow is the doctrinal foundation for Nembutsu practice. The concept of the Pure Land in contrast to the impermanence and suffering of samsara. The Pure Land is depicted as a realm free of obstacles to enlightenment. It is described as adorned with jewel trees, lotus ponds, melodious birds that preach the Dharma, and an environment that naturally nurtures wholesome states of mind. Crucially, it is not a heaven in the theistic sense, but a Buddha field, a skillful means upcure, created by Amitabha to facilitate awakening. Thus, in Pure Land thought, enlightenment is not deferred indefinitely. Rebirth in the Pure Land provides the optimal condition to complete the journey of awakening swiftly and surely. The central role of Nembutsu, Niam Phat Nembutsu, as core practice, the hallmark of Pure Land Buddhism, is the recitation of the Buddha's name, Namo, Amitabha, Sanskrit, Namu, Amida Butsu, Japanese, Nami, Adeka, Phat, Vietnamese. This practice, known as Nembutsu or Niam Phat, is both simple and profound. At one level, it is vocal repetition, but at another, it embodies faith, mindfulness, and a direct connection with Amitabha's compassionate vow, Nembutsu, as mindfulness, and faith in early interpretations, particularly in Chinese Pure Land masters such as Tanluan, Dao Chuo, and Shandao. Nembutsu was seen as a form of mindfulness meditation, recollecting the qualities of Amitabha, visualizing his Pure Land, and aligning one's mind with his vow. In Japanese traditions, especially under Honen and Shinran, Nembutsu was emphasized not as a self-powered practice jiriki, but as reliance on a mitpa's other power, tariki. For Shinran in particular, the Nembutsu is not a cause, but an expression of gratitude for already assured salvation, accessibility for all. Unlike complex meditation or scholastic study, Nembutsu requires no special intellectual or meditative skills. This radical accessibility explains its popularity across East Asia, especially among lay people who lived busy, ordinary lives, but still longed for liberation. It democratizes enlightenment, making it a real possibility for peasants, workers, women, the elderly, and the illiterate. Faith, aspiration, and rebirth, the three essentials. Pure Land practice is often described in terms of the three essentials: faith, rad, aspiration, pra, idna, and practice, korya. Faith means trusting in a mitpa's vow and his ability to save all beings. Aspiration is the sincere wish to be reborn in the Pure Land. Practice is the recitation of the Buddha's name with single-minded devotion. Together, these form the dynamic by which practitioners align themselves with the compassionate power of a mitpa. Rebirth as a stage to enlightenment. Rebirth in the Pure Land is not the final goal, but a crucial stage on the journey to full enlightenment. Once reborn there, practitioners encounter amitpa, avalokiteshvara, mostimaprapta, and innumerable bodhisattvas in an environment entirely free of defilement, without distractions, delusions, or karmic obstructions. One can quickly advance toward Buddhahood. Thus, rebirth functions as a guarantee that one's path to awakening will not falter. This explains why Pure Land Buddhists equate rebirth in Sukhovit with assurance of ultimate enlightenment, reinterpreting enlightenment in Pure Land Buddhism from self-power to other power. In most Buddhist traditions, enlightenment is seen as the result of strenuous practice, self-discipline, and personal cultivation. Pure Land thought, however, emphasizes that in the degenerate age MTFAP, beings lack the capacity to achieve liberation by self-worth alone. A mitpa's vow provides the other power, tariki, necessary to bridge this gap. This does not negate practice, but reframes it. Nembutsu is not a self-achievement, but a grateful response to grace already given. Enlightenment here is less about individual accomplishment and more about entrusting oneself to boundless compassion. Enlightenment as universal. Pure Land teaching universalizes enlightenment, because a mitpa vowed to save all beings without distinction. The barriers of class, gender, education, or moral history are transcended. In fact, Pure Land Sutras highlight that even the most sinful beings, if they sincerely call upon a mitpa at the moment of death, may still be reborn in the Pure Land. This radical inclusivity transforms enlightenment from an elite pursuit to a universal destiny. Comparative perspectives. Pure Land and Zen emphasizes direct insight into one's true nature through meditation and koans. Pure Land, by contrast, emphasizes devotion and faith. Yet, in practice, many Asian traditions integrated the two, seeing them as a form of mindfulness or as complementary to meditation. Both seek to transcend ego and realize awakening, though through different skillful means. Pure Land and Vajrayana, visualization of deities and reliance on guru blessings, echo the Pure Land reliance on a mitpa's vow. Indeed, a mitpa is a central figure in Tibetan Buddhism, with practices such as phawa, transference of consciousness at death paralleling Pure Land, aspiration for rebirth. Contemporary relevance comfort in times of uncertainty, Pure Land Buddhism's emphasis on faith and assurance provides deep solace in times of suffering, war, or social upheaval. The promise of Amitabha's compassionate embrace offers hope where other forms of practice might seem too difficult. Ethical implications. While critics sometimes charge that Pure Land practice encourages passivity, many Pure Land masters emphasized that true faith in Amitabha naturally inspires ethical conduct, compassion, and altruism. Gratitude to Amitabha should manifest as kindness and service to others. Global appeal. In the modern world, where many feel overwhelmed by complexity, Pure Land's simple practice of reciting the Buddha's name resonates deeply. It offers a spiritual refuge that is accessible, universal, and adaptable across cultures. Conclusion. Pure Land Buddhism presents a unique vision of enlightenment. Rather than emphasizing arduous self-effort, it highlights the compassionate vow of Amitabha, the power of faith and devotion, and the transformative potential of enlightenment. Here is not a solitary achievement but a communal destiny, accessible to all, grounded in compassion, and realized through rebirth in the Pure Land by shifting the focus from self-power to other power, from exclusivity to inclusivity. Pure Land Buddhism expands the very meaning of awakening. It assures practitioners that even in an age of decline, enlightenment remains within reach, not as an abstract ideal but as a lived reality nurtured by boundless compassion. In this way, Pure Land teachings continue to inspire millions, offering a path where the simple act of calling upon Amitabha becomes a doorway to the ultimate liberation of all beings.